Now, the hammer reversal bar is a sort of technical candlestick pattern that you just have to have in your arsenal. It's so um, widely covered, can be very predictive of price, and when it's large, pronounced on the daily chart, you really should notice it, which is why we just primed up the Euro Stoxx and the DAX daily hammer reversal bar. Now, if you look at the Euro Stoxx, for instance, I'll just show you what a hammer reversal bar looks like. First of all, it's reversal. So you want it to come after, so there's a downtrend, and then you have the hammer reversal bar. Now, what you're looking for a wick, which is like 2 or 3 times the length of the candlestick. Then the body, if the body's a bullish close, it can be a bullish or a bearish close. It doesn't matter. But the key thing, what you want with the close, is you want the close inside the body of the previous body candle. So if you look at, let me show you an example, see if I can see one. See if I can see one here. Yeah, so basically what you don't want, I haven't got one to show you here, obviously, but what you don't want that body to be closing outside of the body of the previous candle, because it sort of shows the sellers are still sort of in control a little bit. Whereas when you have the close back up within the body of the previous day candle, the folks that were sort of short from here, would have been underwater. So you want to wick 2 or 3 times the length of the body closing within the previous day candle. Ideally, you want daily support level, and you can see, okay, great, it's in a daily support level. Is it pronounced? Yes. Is there space to the left? You can look, see all that space there? That means that sellers on Friday were thinking, well, hey, we're taking new territory, and then they snap up. So everyone who was selling into 4150 are now reversing. So they'll be covering their shorts, and that helps to further propel price higher. Now, trading these and with sentiment sort of starting more positive on the session, that has helped lift sentiment, right? Now, it was reasonable, early in the European Open, just before the Open, sort of to look for longs coming off the break of the nose. So when I say the break of the nose, you see this part here. Once that breaks higher above the nose here on the DAX, it just makes it more likely to see upside when you have a break of the previous day's range. Okay, so you've got a breakout essentially from that Friday's range. And sentiment on the session was more positive with those, Wall Street Journal's Tim Rales comments, saying that, the Fed's going to be pausing and then considering more carefully from there. So just to point out, when you've got those daily hammer reversal bars, and then when you get sort of sentiment that will push it that way, you can look for short-term intraday upside. Now, in terms of technical targets, you could look at just a near-term overhead resistance point, that 15,900. So just look for major kind of places where you're going to get traffic. So here you can see that major 1600 resistance, but you see that's quite high up into those swing points. And that sort of intraday low there with that intraday high here, you can see, okay, that would obviously be a natural reversal point as well. Now, this isn't, a trade to take now. And, intraday, you might think, well, I'll just take the little pop open, on the open to the upside. But I just want to point out these daily hammer reversal bars are really strong. So from here, what you'd look for is, say, price pulls back now and we move back to that 15,700 region. And say on Wednesday, and then we get a real, or on the Euro Stoxx down to that sort of 4,200 region. And then say on Wednesday, you get a really low inflation print, Fed's winning the battle, peak rates, then all of a sudden you could expect this to surge higher, okay? And, you could use this hammer reversal bar in the future. Also, say, another little tip is, say this extends the length of this candlestick. So you see that range, what I mean, you see this range here, right? So it's 2,200 points. Say that extends 2,200 points today, moves up to that 1,600. Then tomorrow you could look for a bounce off this nose of the candle, and that would typically operate as support because it was the break of that previous range. Okay, so just a few tips on the hammer reversal bar.